Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Fiverr Talks. My name is Joel and today we're talking about Fiverr's new Seller Plus program, all the details, and whether or not you need this program to succeed. That's right, today we're talking about Fiverr's new Seller Plus program. What is it? What you should do? Should you get involved if you're invited? But before we do, I thought we'd go back in time. Just a little bit, go back in time and look at a history of how Fiverr has helped sellers or tried to help sellers gain the upper hand to grow through the ranks, go from level 1 to level 2 to top rated seller, and actually help them grow on the platform to do better work, something that benefits both sellers, buyers, and Fiverr as a platform. And this is coming from a guy, me, who's been here since 2013. I was one of the first top rated sellers let into the customer success management program, and that's what it was called in the earlier days. These were called customer success managers, and they were simply someone who was your person within Fiverr, someone you could reach out to instead of support. In fact, my early customer success manager, his name was Brian, really liked Brian. I had his Skype ID, and we would Skype all the time. If I just had a quick question, I could hit Brian up on Skype, and he would answer me within hours, sometimes minutes, just having a quick conversation about a problem I was having with an order. It was a really symbiotic relationship. Fiverr was helping me to become a better seller, get better information, and I was getting custom service from my customer service. It was really helping me in the early days, but things started to change as the number of top-rated sellers grew on Fiverr. If you've been on this channel with me for any amount of time, you've heard me talk about this issue that Fiverr ran into as they promoted too many sellers in the early days. We're talking maybe 2015, 2016. They promoted too many sellers too quickly to the top-rated status. And this is because they had a weak rating system. It was a thumbs up or thumbs down rating system rather than the 5-star rating system we have today, and it caused a lot of problems. There were way too many top-rated sellers, which means the platform was top-heavy, and thus they could not create enough customer success managers to give every top-rated seller a success manager for themselves. So over time, after just a few years, this program began to deteriorate, and I was then later handed off to somebody else in the Israel office, and the service I got from them did not help my success at all. In fact, if I was relying on this person for success, I would have failed, because if I sent them an email, it would take them, no joke, weeks to respond to my email. They weren't sending me any useful information. They weren't giving me any feedback. They weren't helping me with any of my problems. Customer service was doing that. I would hit up customer service and get an answer within a day. Eventually, I just stopped asking questions. A couple months later, I was let know that I was being let go from the customer success management program because they needed to make room for new sellers that had never had a customer success representative or manager before, and they were going to cycle people in and out of the program. And this is now what Seller Plus is. It's a paid version of what we used to get for free as top-rated sellers, but Fiverr quickly realized that they could not sustain. It's a level of service they could not sustain, even though there was barely any service at all toward the end. This is now something that you can pay for. And so if you've been invited to become a part of the new Seller Plus program, then you already know that. You've gotten an email, you've gotten a notification, you've been told that it's $29 a month. They're giving, I think, the first 200 people to sign up a little bit of a discount for a while, but ultimately it's going to be $29, and ultimately they want everybody on Fiverr who wants a customer success manager or representative in the Seller Plus program to have one. Of course, they want to sell this $29 service to as many people as they can, and this is yet another trend that Fiverr is coming up with to make money. This is something we've seen them do with several different things like paid promotions, other programs, the pay to play, and in many ways, this is pay-to-play customer service. Now, I'm going to read to you from the Fiverr announcement, the Fiverr website, what exactly they say the Fiverr Plus program or the Seller Plus program, I keep wanting to call it Fiverr Plus, will actually help you with. They say it's a special program that will connect you with a personal seller success manager who will offer you expert guidance to boost your business as a seller on Fiverr. What are the benefits? Well, they'll help you, as they say, to enhance your gig's visibility with expert advice in the right keywords and pricing. They'll help you to increase your chances to qualify for programs that drive traffic to your gigs. They'll help you to engage in networking events and educational content offered exclusively to members, and all this for only $29 a month. Now, if this sounds an awful lot like a commercial, that's because it is. This is a product, folks, and many of you are asking yourself, should I jump into this program if I'm offered a seat in it? I've got some thoughts on that I'd like to share, but first I'd like to ask you our question of the day. How many of you out there were invited to the Seller Plus program? And if you were invited, how many of you out there joined? I'd love to hear your experience. I know a couple top-rated sellers that were invited to it. I personally wasn't. I probably wouldn't join if I was, but if I did, it would be purely out of curiosity. So I'm asking because I'm curious. Have you joined? And if you have, what's your experience been like? Tell everybody in the comments down below. So the first question that I've had people ask me, and the first question that I would actually ask myself when it comes to the Seller Plus program is, do you actually need this program? And my answer is probably not. Here's the reason I say that. It's because I believe you should be relying on no one but yourself for your success. You should not be looking to a program or a manager or somebody inside of Fiverr to help you become successful. They are offering you, in many cases, something that you could go out and get for free. They're offering you insights that you could get from YouTube videos on channels like this, things you could do in tips and techniques to raise and boost your gigs, to boost your traffic, to optimize your keywords, your pricing, things like that. These are all things you can go out and get yourself. In fact, I don't think I would trust somebody's opinion of these things without doing the research on my own. Someone telling me, I think you would be better off at this price point without doing the research on my own. You know, I want to be in control of my success, and I think you should be too. You should be the reason you succeed. You should be the reason you fail. That's what being an entrepreneur is all about. So my advice would be, don't put your success in the hands of anyone but yourself. You need to be the one doing the research, going out there, finding this information because it's all available to you. You don't have to be in the program to find out what it takes to make a gig description better, make a gig video better. There are people like me and people all over the web, all over YouTube, all over places that will tell you how to do these things if you're looking, if you're listening, if you're willing to educate yourself. So in that regard, I don't think you need a program like this at all. Now, on the other hand, I've also heard many of you who are lower level sellers, maybe you're beginners, level 1 or level 2 sellers, saying that you have a hard time getting through to customer support. I know as a top rated seller, I get excellent responses from them, oftentimes same day, if not within 24 hours every single time I ask. But I also ask very few questions of customer support because with my experience, I know what their answer is going to be. So if you are struggling to get answers from customer support, find yourself constantly having issues, needing someone to talk to, and waiting sometimes, from what I've heard, weeks to hear back, this might be a way to get priority customer support. They're not really advertising it as priority customer support, but that's in a sense what it is. You'll have a person who's connected to you, and hopefully if you're paying $29 a month for it, you'll get a better response rate than I got when I was in the free Seller Success program. So if that's an issue for you, something that you're finding is really holding your business up, this might actually solve that problem. But I also think it creates another problem, not just for you, but everybody who sells on Fiverr. If people flock to this Seller Plus program, if people say, I'm willing to pay $29 a month for expedited responses, for a higher level of service, in a sense, Fiverr has then tested and proved the theory that we will pay to play for customer service. In my opinion, that's wrong. Now, there's nothing wrong with Fiverr monetizing a service. That's how they make their money. They're $1 billion company. They know what they're doing. But in my opinion, customer service should never be monetized. It's a symbiotic relationship we're in here. Sellers sell, Fiverr takes a cut. We all win when the other wins. So therefore, when we are paying for express or white glove service from a provider who's also benefiting from our presence on the platform, I think that puts us into a dangerous, slippery slope situation. It could be that this leads Fiverr to believe that that's the future of customer support, that we should actually have to pay for it. And I think that's wrong because sometimes the issues we experience are Fiverr's fault. They should fix those for free and actually give us good response times. It's their job to have a great customer support team for sellers. And I think that shouldn't cost us a dime because we're already paying them 20% of everything that we bring in. And that's a pretty hefty price tag for the low ask of good customer service only when we need it. Now, there are also a lot of myths out there rolling around. I've heard them in the top-rated seller community, people being worried that this is actually a program you have to be in order to see some of these benefits, that, oh, I'm not going to get invited into special programs if I'm not in this Seller Plus program. I don't believe that's what it is at all. All the documentation Fiverr has put out there talks about them helping you to improve things to possibly get access to programs. Maybe they're talking about promoted gigs. You know, if your gig isn't chosen, maybe they can help you improve things and you will be chosen in the future. They're not guaranteeing access to these programs. They're simply saying, we'll offer you tips and advice to help you. It's your job to implement. There's no guarantees. And hey, if you do a great job, maybe you'll get into these programs. All things you can do on your own. It's a really slippery slope if Fiverr is to start causing or requiring people to sign up for a paid service to have access to certain things that then boost your gigs. This is what a lot of people were upset about when the Fiverr Learn platform came out, because essentially Fiverr began promoting the Learn platform by saying, hey, if you take these courses, pay us for these courses and complete them, then every time you complete one, we'll put that badge on your profile and that will actually factor into things and boost your rank. And I bought into it. I spent $150 on Fiverr Learn programs, and I don't know that it ever had much of an effect on me, but it felt dirty because it felt like Fiverr was saying, hey, those of you that choose not to spend this money and buy our programs and go through our Learn activities, our continuing education, you will not be promoted the same way those who do will be. So I don't think that's the case. I don't even think that's the case with Fiverr Learn. I just think it's something that they touted and promoted that way, but it wasn't actually true. I don't think that's the case for Seller Plus. I don't believe that they're actually going to give you access to exclusive things that you couldn't get by improving and working on your gigs on your own to raise your rank and rise up organically through the ranks and become a top-rated seller that way, or get into those programs that way. But for now, I say take a deep breath. This is not a magic pill. This is not a magic wand. This program is just like this YouTube channel. It's something that could help you if you heed the advice and implement all these strategies from people who know it best. You know, I'm an experienced seller. They actually work in the platform. Sometimes the insights they have are great, but I really don't think it's going to be groundbreaking. And so that's why I think for most of you sellers, it's $29 a month wasted. You can give yourself all this information by going out there, looking at your own dashboard, studying your own statistics, looking at the trends, looking at pricing, doing your own research. And even if they handed it to you, I'm not sure I would trust it without doing my own research anyway, because you are the only person that should be in charge of your success. Hey, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. You can subscribe for more videos right over there, and there's actually a playlist of videos right there that would really be great for you if you're looking for more tips on how to become a top-rated seller on Fiverr. So until next time, keep doing, because the future favors the doers.